What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back out with another Chris Watts video. And today we're going to be taking a look at another Christina Randall's video because hundreds of you guys have been sending me this and saying I need to watch this. The reason why we're going to be watching this because it's a 4-year-old video, but there are people that still don't know about this case or don't know this about Chris or that about Chris. Again, I just found out that he did a presentation on relationships and marriages and how to savor them and how to protect your marriage from abnormalities and stuff like that, like a mistress. But it's just ironic that things that I'm seeing here and there I didn't know, but you guys have brought forward to me. So I'm hoping to bring all the stuff that I find to you at home so you guys don't have to do the work. But we're gonna be watching Christina Randall's video of what you don't know about Chris, and I'm very intrigued. Hopefully you guys are too, and hopefully you guys watch my reaction and see if there's things that we don't know about Chris, because again, we find out things new about Chris every single day. With that being said, make sure you guys get comfortable, get a comfy chair, get something to drink, and make sure you guys also subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting the white bar icon down the bottom right, hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video, and you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you so very much. We are on our way to 48,000 subscribers, but we're trying to get to 50K so I can give one of you lucky people at home that Meta Quest 3 virtual reality headset, and all it is free for you. All you have to do too is subscribe, comment, like, and share, and the hashtag win the giveaway in any video. Also support Christina Randall as well. I love her YouTube channel. I've been watching tons of her videos besides the Chris Watts ones. So go over there, give her some love, because she puts these videos for us to enjoy and learn more about cases. We definitely want to give her the love and support back for all the hard work she does. So hopefully maybe one day I'll do a collaboration. Christina, if you're looking or you're watching this, hit me up. So, but with that being said, let's get into the video and see what Christina has for us as well.
Then just stick around. Past few days, I spent about 5 hours listening to interviews. Yes, 5 whole hours. And what I did was, I will leave those videos linked down in the description box, by the way. I had my headphones in and I spent like time cleaning out the refrigerator and cleaning and just listening to them, because I honestly don't have time to sit down for 5 hours and like watch an interview. So I listened to them. And this is between Chris Watts and I'm guessing some investigators, and I just couldn't believe some of the things that I heard. He said and seemed to be very honest, but we're gonna get into that at the end. I'm gonna tell you guys a bunch of these things that he said, but I'm not gonna tell y'all my opinion on what he said until the very end. Okay. So right now, I'm just gonna tell you guys the things that he said that I found interesting or things that I hadn't heard before, you may not have heard before, and then we'll get into what I think about all those at the end. So just to touch base real quick, if you guys have not heard of Chris Watts, like I said, they were the picture perfect Facebook beautiful family that you would see online, okay? It was the husband and the wife. They had two beautiful little girls that were 3 and 4 years old, and his beautiful wife was pregnant, 15 weeks pregnant, with the little boy that they had always wanted. Now, she sold like Thrive, you know, the patches and stuff, so she was always online, putting videos online, pictures online. She was really good at it, according to him. And so, you know, their Facebook was full of like the perfect pictures where they're all wearing the matching outfits and just like, you know, your typical beautiful social media family. I mean, that alone should tell you guys that social media, if you don't already know, which I'm sure you do know, is not all what it's cracked up to be. But Chris Watts and his wife, Shanann, met via Facebook. A friend request was sent, accepted. They started talking, dating. Before you know it, they were married. They were married for 8 years. And like I said, they had 2 girls and a boy on the way. According to Chris Watts.
And he threw it all away for apparently a few months with Nicole Kessinger. Ridiculous.
He just snapped one night and he killed all 3 of them.
He didn't snap.
It's still kind of hard for me to just say like that. Like, it's just crazy to think about. He was also having an affair with a woman that he worked with named Nikki. So now that I have the foundation laid, if you want me to do a full video telling you guys the story in just my own words and my own terms, let me know down below. But I didn't want to bore you guys for 15 minutes with a story that you guys may already know. So some of the things that I found interesting while I was researching this is that the mother was actually crying during his sentencing and saying like that she forgave him and that she still couldn't understand, but that she forgave him. And I know for me personally as a mom,
that was literally the only time that he cried was when the mom was talking and when they were talking about the girls like Bella and Cece. So that's the only time he cried. He didn't cry when he was convicted. He didn't cry when he confessed. Like, he put on a show, but that's ridiculously absurd that he cried only when it was his mommy's turn to talk.
Of course, I would always love my kids no matter what they did, but you just imagine, right? As a mom, you know, you have your beautiful baby, and we're going to say little boy because we're talking about a little boy in this situation. Your beautiful little boy, you know, you wipe his snotty nose when he's a kid. You know, you help teach him how to ride a bike. You take his training wheels off. You take cookies up to his school on his birthday. You know, you sit with him at lunch. You brush his hair. You put soap in his hair and scrub his scalp, and you watch him grow up, and then you finally see him fall in love, which is like, you know, something that us as mothers, I know me personally, want to see my children do, right? I want to see them fall in love and have a family if that's what they choose and be happy, but you never expect your little boy to kill his family, right? You would just never expect that. And I just couldn't imagine as a mom how she felt in that moment. And of course, it's not about her. So I'm not saying that to victimize her. I'm just telling you guys that we're not victimizing her, but she puts it upon herself to bring it to herself that she is a victim in this. When is she really? The victims are the ones that died. And Shanann's family that lost their granddaughters and their daughter. Cindy still has Chris. Ronnie still has Chris. The sister of Chris has Chris. They can still talk to him, call him on the phone, giggle, laugh, share a joke or two, football stats and all that stuff. The Ruseks can't do that with Shanann because Shanann is buried and gone. That's why I don't feel that Cindy is a victim or the Chris Watts are victims, because they can still talk to their son. I could be wrong for some people's aspects, but let me know what you guys think about that. I have thought about, like, as a mom, you know, she stood up there crying at his sentencing and saying, you know, I do forgive you, but I'm still trying to understand this. And I don't know if she'll ever understand, because according to Chris, he don't even understand. Another thing I want to bring to you guys' attention that he was talking about is all he can do is think. And I told you guys about this in other videos, that I personally believe that the worst sentence that an inmate or somebody that does something super heinous can get is life in prison, not the death penalty. The death penalty ends it for them, right? They are no longer on this earth. They no longer have to deal with on this earth what they've done and the choices that they've made. But if you have life in prison, that's all you have to do is think about it. And he says that he thinks about it all day, every day, and it tortures him. Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm still having problems with my bronchitis and stuff. But he should have thought of this before. He has a lot of time to think about it now, but he should have thought of this before. Really thought about it. Because he didn't think about it enough, and he annihilated his family. He wasn't thinking very good. And he also says that he can hear his daughter begging him and saying, Daddy, no, every single... I hope that haunts him forever. The daddy is my hero. And then for him to splash and the daddy no, I hope that haunts him and scares him every single day. You know, and that has got to be so torturous. But I'm going to tell you guys what I think about that personally at the end. Another thing that y'all may or may not have heard was that his girlfriend, Nikki, was telling people that she didn't know he was married. And allegedly, because I obviously wasn't there, allegedly she's lying. She knew. In these interviews that I listened to that were of Chris, he said she did know. As a matter of fact, he was laying in her bed one day when Shanann, his wife, called, and he jumped up and ran outside. And then Chris and his mistress, Nikki, got into an argument about it because she felt like she would always play second fiddle to his wife. Well, he was married. Also, when the investigators was looking more into her, they found that one night she spent 2 hours researching and Googling wedding dresses. She was planning a whole entire family and a life with this man, but knowing dang good and well that he was married. Shanann's father, okay, whenever he gave his speech at Chris's sentencing, he said something that was incredibly bone-chilling to me. He said, "I trusted you. I trusted you to protect and take care of my family, not to kill them." That sentence alone just gets me. You know, as a father,
I didn't know that.
You know, your daughter, your baby girl, that'll always be your baby girl to you. I know my boys will always be my boys, even though one of them is a man and the other one will be a man one day, right? Like, those are your babies, your baby girl and your grandbabies. And the father is trusting the husband that he's going to protect them and take care of them, not to kill them. And that's what he did. And that statement just got me, you guys. Like, have y'all heard that?
I have not.
Powerful, man, powerful. Something else that you may not know that I heard in the interview, I'm sure that all of you guys know about the story that he got 3 life sentences plus 48 years. According to Chris in these interviews, he did not think he was going to get life in prison. Now, he didn't say what he thought he was going to get, but I'm a little bit confused. He didn't think he was.
He also thinks after 25 years of good behavior, that man's getting out. No, he's not. I've literally looked into it. In the state of Colorado, this man could be good for 62 years. He ain't getting out. He has 5 felonies on him. 3 of them first-degree homicide, tampering with evidence, and I think the last one is the early termination of a pregnancy. The man's never getting out. Okay, Cindy, you can pray all you want. He's not getting out. This man annihilated his family. He took them away from this earth because he wanted to start a new life with Nikki. He's not getting out. And there's people that literally tell me, "Oh yeah, he'll get out on good behavior." No, he won't.
Was going to get that long. What did you think you was going to get, Chris? What did you think you was going to get? 10 years, 15 years? Like, you literally murdered your whole entire family. Like, that to me is just...
Christina's got some pretty eyes.
That he didn't think he was going to get life in prison. That, I don't know, just crazy. Something else you may not know about Chris in this case is in 2018, December, he was moved prisons because of safety concerns. He was in Colorado prison.
Because people they want to take him out because of what he did to his family. Prisoners know that he did wrong. But there's some people that believe that he's innocent.
And he was getting all kind of threats. He was afraid for his life. They ended up having to move him to keep him safe. And I told you guys before about a woman that I was in prison with who her and her husband did all of this stuff to these children. And when she was in Lowell, the officers and the inmates were torturing her. They had her in a confinement room to keep her away from the inmates and keep her safe. Because see, the thing is, you probably want to know, like, why would they want to keep her safe if she did all this? When you become an inmate, you are Department of Corrections property, right? So now you are in the custody of Department of Corrections. So anything that happens to you when you are an inmate is supposedly, legally, let's just say that, legally, the Department of Corrections responsibility. So if you get hurt really bad, it is their responsibility. So they want to keep you safe as much as they can so it doesn't fall back on them. So they had this woman who her and her husband did all of this terrible stuff to these children in a confinement room, but you know what? The officers weren't feeding her. And you guys have heard stories about that before. If you watch Seth's first video on this channel, then you heard him talk about even when he got put into solitary confinement, they air trade him, which means they give him a tray with no food on it. And the reason why they even give him a tray is because of the cameras. So it looks like they're feeding him, but really with these trays, the parts where you put in the food are like down in like this little groove. So you can't really see the food from the cameras, but that's what they do. They push air trays to you. So with all that being said, they had to move Chris from the prison that he was in December of 2018 to another prison to keep him safe because he was going to be hurt. And that's also why I tell you guys that people that hurt children or do certain things, when they get to prison, they're not relaxing, okay? They're not sitting up, kicking their feet up and just relaxing, because they're going to get it, okay? If it's not the inmates, it's the officers. If it's not the officers, it's the inmates. Now, they did move him to this prison, and if you guys have time and you get to listen to these interviews, they've got him, and this is a bizarre thing to me.
Wisconsin.
They've got him in this prison that has a lot of chomos, and I have to use that word here because of YouTube's terms and policies, but they have him in a prison with chomos and other people that need to be protected. There's cops that are in there, cops that have been arrested and gone to prison are in the same prison, you know, because, you know, cops, when they go to prison, or officers, or, you know, anybody in that type of authority are in serious danger when they go to prison, because you have a bunch of inmates that are, you know, mad about it. You also have a lot of the snitches that are in this prison. He said people that were snitching on gangs and stuff like that, they have them in this prison to keep them protected. The bizarre thing about it, though, is they said in this interview that this prison is right near a neighborhood, which to me is crazy when you have these people that like hurt children and stuff like that. Like, why?
And the funny thing is I think that neighborhood is where Jim, Nicole Kessinger's Jim, is from. I'm pretty sure that I remember.
Why are they in a prison right near a neighborhood? They should be in one of those prisons that's way out in the
water.
boondocks. You know what I mean? Because there are prisons like that that are not near main roads, that are not near, you know, neighborhoods. Because what if one of them escapes? You don't want them in a neighborhood. I don't know. That was just weird to me. You guys let me know what y'all think about that down below. Another thing about this case that I thought was interesting, in July of 2019, Shanann's dad gave a speech that he was asking and begging and pleading the online bullying to stop to his family. Now, this is the victim's father and the victim's grandfather. Why are they getting bullied?
Exactly.
Why is anybody even bullying them?
Or like a YouTube channel sitting there blaming Shanann's family for the death of her Shanann because they put a hit. How stupid can you be to believe that? Well, guess what? The person that stated that, their YouTube channel's gone. Just saying.
And threatening them. Like, I don't understand that. Like, when I had to listen to that multiple times and try to figure out, was he talking about bullying the other family or his family? And they were talking about his family. I don't understand why people, they have already been through so much, but you know, the internet can be such a crazy, bizarre place sometimes. Like, they just literally lost their daughter, their granddaughters, and their soon to be born grandson, and they're getting bullied? Like, why? Another thing that Chris talked about in these interviews is that he gets so much mail. He gets random letters from people, a lot of them telling him that he needs to end his own life, you know what I mean? And talking all kind of crazy to him and all of this stuff. So he will probably get that forever. He will get letters like that. But another bizarre thing is he gets letters from women telling them that they're in love with him. He said he opened up one letter and there was a girl in a bikini, a picture of her in a bikini. And I don't know, guys, I literally try not to judge. I consider myself to be a very fair and diplomatic person, the kind of person that tries to see everybody's side from all angles, even if it doesn't benefit me to do that. But I would not understand in a world of 7 billion people why you would see this man online and see what he is capable of and what he did and decide that he is the one that you're in love with. Like I said, no judgment, but I don't understand that. You know, if you guys can figure out why or tell me why, I would love to hear down below. You know, I don't want to see any like hate to each other. You know, we can all disagree because I want people to feel comfortable with saying like a real answer. But I don't understand that. Me personally, I do not understand that. Something else interesting that was talked about was the fact that Chris says that he had never had an affair with anybody else other than Nikki, the woman he was having an affair with while he was with his wife. But when the investigators were investigating this whole entire case, many people came up and
apparently he had slept with a man, which we don't know is true. he slept with other people in a dating profile. I mean, to that effect, we don't really care about, not saying anything about bad about them, but Chris was just up Nicole Kessinger's butt. Literally, no pun intended. But it's about Nicole. Nicole is the one that affected him, not the Trey, not the other woman, not the other woman of that woman. Like, we need to focus on Nicole.
Said that they had had an affair with Chris, including 2 men. And one of the men said that he even rode in the truck with him and his 2 girls. Yeah, Chris denies it. He says that he never had an affair with anybody else other than Nikki, and that he had never, ever experimented with men. But I don't know about that. I don't know. So I'm going to tell you guys more about what I think about that at the end, but I thought that that was interesting. Like, why would 2 guys come forward and admit to having an affair with this man who is now all over the news?
15 seconds of fame. They're not going to believe him because he's a liar, an habitual liar. He comes up with all this random stuff. So these guys think, oh, here's my 15 seconds of fame, or 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to say this man slept with me, but we're not going to believe Chris because Chris murdered his family. So we believe the other guy. I don't know. I don't think the other people were involved, but that's just me.
For doing all of it. Like, what benefit do they have by that? If anything, you think people would lie and say that they didn't know him, much less say that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just bizarre to me. Something that I found very interesting was the in-laws, okay, of Chris, which was Shanann's parents. Specifically, her mom said that she still loves Chris. She said, you cannot be in somebody's life for...
But then I heard, though, she wanted death penalty on Chris. So, but then you hear Frankie was like, he's my brother. And it's like, really, it gets to you because he trusted Chris to protect his sister. And then they do this. It's just...
8 years and just cut them off and not love them. Although I do not believe from what I heard that she's in contact with him, but she said she still loves him. And man, as a mama, that just really got me in my heart. Like, you've got to be some sort of special kind of woman to even let those words come out of your mouth after somebody's done something like that to your family. Like, wow, I have so much respect for her. Like,
I have respect for her, but I don't think she said that.
I don't know if I could do it, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I could do it, and I pray to God that I never have to find out, but whew, that was heavy to hear. Like, what an incredible soul she must have. Something else that I thought was very intriguing about the case was that when they retrieved the bodies, okay, of course they had to take pictures and document it and do all of that stuff. Well, they asked Chris if he wanted to see them, and he said no. Parents did not have to see the pictures, and I'm so very grateful for that because, you know, of course they want to remember their daughter and their granddaughters for the beautiful, beautiful people that they were, not who they had unfortunately had to become because their lives were taken. Not the way that their bodies were disposed of in such a horrible, heartless way, if you ask me. Another thing is that Chris said in these interviews that if he would have never met Nikki and never got with Nikki, that he don't think that any of this would have ever happened. And he wasn't blaming her in this, but he was saying that he would have never felt like there was something wrong with his marriage if he didn't have something to compare it to. Because of course he was in this affair with this woman and everything was all sunshines and rainbows. So
I think this is the only thing I actually believe Chris on, is if he never met Nikki, he would have probably never done anything bad to Shanann and the girls. Nicole Kessinger was a big persuader. I guarantee it's not that she didn't say it, she implemented it, and she like made sure that, hey, if you don't get rid of your family, we can't be together. Like, I guarantee that's like something that she probably had done for educational purposes only. I have to say that because, again, it's only my opinion.
Then now he's looking at his wife like, this is not what I want. And let me tell you guys this, and I wish somebody would have told him this. All relationships most relationships are sunshines and rainbows in the beginning, right? That's the honeymoon stage. That's when everybody is happy. He didn't really get a chance to really know Nikki in that way, to really be able to compare it. Of course, people put on their best face forward in the beginning of a relationship, you know? So like for him to even think that, it's crazy. And this is my personal opinion to you or anybody that will listen. Relationships are not tested in the happy times. Okay, anybody can be happy with their husband or their wife or their girlfriend or their boyfriend. Anybody can be happy with their spouse when everything is great, right? When everything is great, everything's happy, you have no worries, you don't have bills to worry about, you don't have kids to stress over, you don't have any of that. Like everything can be perfect then. But true love and true relationships are tested in the hard times, okay? Amen. Until you really go through something together, or until you get into that fight and you see how each other reacts and you know, you don't really know. You don't really know, because like I said, true love and true relationships, in my opinion, are made and tested through the tough times. How you get through the tough times is going to tell you how much y'all care about each other. Okay, now what I'm sure you all have been waiting for, not really, you probably don't care.
I do.
Is my opinion on the situation. Okay, so while I was listening to these interviews, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and do not be mad at me here. In the beginning, I was really feeling, I want to say for probably the first hour and a half, I was feeling like he was being authentic, and maybe he did change. Does not take it away from what he's done. Does not mean I think he should get out. Does not mean I ever think he should have a chance of parole, because I'm going to tell you right now, I do not believe that. Even if, like he said, his body was complete. Let's just play devil's advocate here, okay? Let's just say his body was taken over by a demon, like he has said before, or that he was demon possessed, or that he snapped, he didn't realize what was going on. Even if that's the truth, well, if you couldn't control yourself, then who's going to say you're not going to do that again in the future, right? Exactly. If that is the truth, whatever, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is, if he did it intentionally, which is what I think happened, and he has changed, he still needs to be there. Like, that's how I feel like you took 4 lives.
I agree 100%.
Like, no, like, I'm glad that you've changed, and I hope that you find peace within yourself, and I hope that you can learn to live with yourself, and maybe even help others while you're in there, give coaching to them, so hopefully they don't come back and make some sort of use with your life now. But you don't deserve to get to come out and like live and frolic and have a beautiful life. Amen. You know, when you have taken.
That's why Nicole Kessinger does not deserve to have a happy life, because she took, not physically, we don't know, but she took a family away. As much as she doesn't want to believe it, she was part of that reason why that family is destroyed.
4 lives like that. You know, it's not even an accident. It's not like you know, it was crazy. It was crazy. So that's my personal opinion. But by me saying that, by saying that I felt like he was being authentic, it kind of started to shift more into the interview. Then I started not being able to tell if he was being authentic or if he's a narcissist. Because I really started feeling like I cannot, just want to let you guys know, I cannot diagnose anybody. I have no kind of formal training. This is just from what I've read or seen online and seen character traits. I cannot diagnose anybody. But like, to me, he was really working the interviewers. It's like he knew what to say, when to say it. It's like he knew how to be emotional. And then some certain things just didn't match up. I'll give you an example. The whole situation with the other people coming forward saying that they had had an affair with him, and him saying like, you know, that he had never been with a man or whatever. Like, you know, not that that matters. Whatever his preferences, whatever he likes to do has literally no validity in the fact of this case. But if he's still lying because he wants to portray an image to the public by saying that he's changed and he's found God, and that, you know, he's still a dad and he's still a husband, and that, you know, and that he's remorseful, but yet he's still lying about certain things. And that makes me believe, and I don't know for sure because I'm not him, that he's putting on a show. And I don't know. Is he?
Yes.
But I will tell you this, people can change, okay? I'm a prime example of that. My husband is an example of that. A lot of my friends, people that I love have changed. Like, people can change. And I don't believe you're ever too far gone to come back and change. But in this case, I don't know, okay? I'm back and forth. Is he being authentic or is he being a narcissist? Y'all tell me down below, because you know people who are narcissistic really can work a room, okay? They really know how to tell you what you want to hear. They a lot of the times they're very charismatic, and they seem like they're being genuine because they know how to say what you want them to say. Another thing about my opinion on this is, Nikki, I do believe that she knew that he was married. I believe that, this is my belief. So, I'm not saying it's a fact, okay, because I don't really know, but I do believe she knew that. I believe that she thought that she was going to make it so happy for him that he was going to leave his wife and come and take care of her, and they were going to run off and be happily ever after together. I don't believe for a second, and I'll tell you why. She told him to delete all their text messages. She was trying to hide it. She was trying to cover it up and hide it until she got to a point that she couldn't hide it anymore, and she had to be honest. So I don't believe that. I also think that unless they keep him in a place where he's protected, he's going to have a really hard time in prison. This case is so big. So many people know about it that no matter where he goes, just about, he is going to have to watch his back. That's just the way it works in there. And, you know, I don't know what to say about that. I do believe that he got a very fair sentence. And I think that justice was served in that case by that. I think that he got exactly what he should have got.
He did.
All right, you guys. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this case in the comment section.
So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed my reaction. I definitely am almost not 100% with Christina on everything. I would say a 99% agreement with her. There's a couple things that I just don't agree. I don't think this man can change. I think this man is completely far gone. He just be locked in a dark room and never see the light of day again. He shouldn't get his 1 hour of time. Like, he caused and committed an act of annihilation of his family. He was there to protect. He was there to love. He took that away from them. Their innocence is gone. Shanann, for what? Because she was boisterous and she was an independent woman. He felt abused. Buck up, sissy pants. Okay, you're a man. You're supposed to have the harder side of the spectrum in a marriage. Yes, you do have your moments of vulnerability, and you come to your wife and ask for love and affection and sensitivity and stuff like that. But he didn't do that. He was quiet. He was reserved. He was kept to himself. He didn't tell Shanann about these things. He didn't want to have self-help books to better his marriage. He was too busy up Nicole Kessinger's butt, again, figuratively, or not figuratively, no pun intended, but he should have been focusing on his wife. So there's definitely things in here that I did not know, which I'm glad that I watched it. What did you find out that you didn't know? Let me know in the comments. Again, we're going to be continuously doing these videos. There are other cases I would like to look at, but you guys definitely do enjoy the Chris Watts videos. So I'm going to continue them until you guys pretty much tell me, Zowoki, we're sick of them. So please stop. So with that being said, again, I thank you guys for watching. Please take care of one another. Take care of yourself. Be safe. And as always, keep nerding on. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.